So we have more and more people looking for more money in these straitened times, and more people, especially with like flexible working, all the rest of it, consider renting out rooms in their house. Why should they do that? Is there good reasons to do it from a tax perspective?
From a tax perspective, if you are renting out a room in your house, you can obtain something called rent a room relief, which is £7,500 if it's just you that's living in the if you're sorry, if it's just you that's renting out the room, or 3,750, assuming it's jointly, I say owned or jointly let out. And that's on the face of it, from HMRC's perspective, they are thinking that if you were doing that for the vast majority of people, that would basically mean you wouldn't have a tax liability if you're just kind of effectively trying to get taken enough money to be able to cover your bills. In terms of that, I think it's one of those that you have to be again really careful in terms of paying attention to what you're bringing in. If the income that you're bringing in is within your rent a room allowance and you have no other reason to file a tax return, the relief is automatic. You don't have to report anything to HMRC. But if the income exceeds that amount, you are going to have to report to HMRC. And if that is the case, you then have the ability to either claim the
Actual expenses.
the
So
actual
figure it all out, all the 7.5.
exactly, yes,
And that it's been around for a long time, I think, hasn't it?
it
Renting out
has.
rooms. But what's been interesting, we've seen a couple of situations where people have also managed to benefit from it. If they go away on holiday, they put their house on Airbnb for a couple of
Yeah,
weeks.
I think from the kind of the main criteria is that you have to be a resident landlord and it has to be your main home. You don't necessarily even have to own the property. You can rent it and then sublet it, but you do not tax point, but you do need to make sure that technically you're allowed to do that from whatever rental terms you've signed.
But the Airbnb thing is a really interesting one, isn't it? Because suddenly
It
people are
is.
like, oh, I don't actually want to have a random person in my house when I'm there.
Yeah.
But if I'm going away for 2 weeks, I can put my house on Airbnb, make 5 grand, and it's tax free.
Yeah, but the thing you do have to go careful of, and we've seen an instance fairly recently where a client hadn't realised it. They'd taken the net amount after the Airbnb fees and gone, that's below £7,500. And the reality is, from HMRC's perspective, it's the gross income that you're getting. So you can't have your Airbnb fee. So again, if your income is more than the £7,500, there's something that you need to be doing.